Hi, my name is Ryan Holzer and I work in the Natural Resources Department at Scott County. And today I'm here to talk to you about our Technical Assistance and Cost Share program. The acronym that we use is the TAX program. So why did the WMO implement a tax program? There's various reasons for that. One being that we have impaired waters found in Scott County as seen in the MPCA impaired waters map. Some of the various impairments include total suspended solids, turbidity, aquatic macroinvertebrate bioassessments, nutrients, chlorides, fish bioassessments, among others. So what causes these impairments? There's several factors, one of which is the geological setting. The Minnesota River Valley has numerous actively incising and eroding bluffs and ravines that have resulted from the rapid base level lowering of the Minnesota River, which is a consequence of the draining of Glacial Lake Agassiz. Land use plays a role as well. Perennial vegetation makes up 51% of the land use in Scott County. Agriculture is 38%, impervious surface is 7%, and water bodies is 4%. Agricultural development over the past 150 years and an increase in precipitation have increased flows in the Minnesota River tributaries, causing the bluffs and ravines to erode faster than they would have under normal conditions. This is causing an increase in sediment loads to the Sand Creek and Minnesota River. Precipitation also plays a factor. Previous to 2020, the past 6 years were all above average precipitation. 2019 was the wettest year on record, and 12 months between 2018 and 2019 were also the wettest 12 months on record as well. What are our priorities? In 2017, the WPC, the SWCD board, a board liaison to the WMO board, and staff participated in a workshop of rankings of different focus targets. The watershed resources outcomes came in order: human health and safety first, second, groundwater protection, third, soil health, fourth, surface water quality protection, fifth, terrestrial habitat, sixth, flooding, seventh, surface water quality restoration, eighth, aquatic habitat, and ninth, aquatic biota. So what are the focus areas? The WMO has a water resources implementation plan, which is the framework of what we administer and implement, has the input of stakeholders, partners, and members of the public through a public comment period. The WMO has also done numerous surveys of residents of Scott County about conservation, and that feedback was also incorporated into the plan. A number of studies have been completed, some of which include where would wetland restorations be best located on the landscape in Scott County, a geomorphic and near channel sediment reduction study which focused on riparian areas of our lakes, rivers, and streams. There's numerous TMDL implementation plans as well. What were some of the issues discovered from the focus areas? Some of the issues are natural, including bluffs, shallow lakes, and shallow depths to bedrock, which would lead to susceptibility to groundwater contamination. Some of our issues are not natural, including the draining of wetlands, which increases flows to streams. What we've determined too is that some of these fixes are expensive. So that's why the WMO tries to utilize grants and piggybacking opportunities, which is very important to use leverage funds when available, and we also have numerous partnerships. The bottom line with the priorities is that human health and safety were very important. Protection and prevention are higher than restoration. Preventative practices slow runoff and protect groundwater. Examples would be native grasses, rain gardens, wetlands, cover crops, filter strips, and well decommissions, to name a few. Restoration or corrective practices address an acute problem after the fact. Examples of these would be grade control structures, grass waterways, diversions, stream bank stabilizations, and rock chutes, to name a few. So what are our strategies? We utilize monitoring efforts to track our progress. Some of those might include runoff reductions, MPCA TSS monitoring, lake monitoring, TMDLs, and sub-watershed assessments. We also have strategies specific to water quality measures, such as nutrients, where we look at in-lake treatment such as alum dosings. The cost share programs assist in this as well, and AIS carp removals. We also have sediment strategies, and that's improve riparian vegetation to increase stream bank resistance to erosion, target practices that slow down incision and control grade, and target runoff reduction practices. In the CIPs are for our acute sediment sources. We also have regulation that plays a role, where we have development standards, runoff rate controls, floodplain, shoreland, and bluff regulations, along with drainage alterations regulations. Another piece that's unique to the Scott WMO is we rely on collective action. And what that means is we focus on things such as relationship building with landowners and partners. We also try to continue the momentum of our programs. We have multiple community interactions to figure out what is socially acceptable in the community and incorporate that into our cost share program. Focusing on smaller areas where only a handful of practices need to be implemented to achieve a desired outcome. Planting seeds with landowners. That would be such as a mailer, and they might not initially be receptive to that practice, but down the line could become receptive to it. After that, they could turn out to be repeat customers, which a lot of our program participants are. So what is our docket? That would be our guiding principles for our BMP implementation. It's what we use to set cost share rates and incentive rates on an annual basis. This docket is updated annually through a subcommittee of board members of the WPC and SWCD, along with administrators or staff from the various watershed districts and water management organizations in Scott County. More recently, we're starting to walk down cost share rates, and that's for the idea of being more sustainable. Is all this working? As you can see in our graphs, some measures, such as TSS concentrations, have been going down. Also, total phosphorus has been going down. But other things, such as chloride concentrations, have gone up. Cedar Lake water quality monitoring is also on a downward trend. We're noticing improvements to our native plant communities in Cedar Lake as correlated to the curly leaf pondweed treatments for Cedar Lake, as well as evidenced by the figures. We also had a flat or downward trend for runoff yields for Sand Creek and Credit River up until 2019, when we had the wettest year on record. We're hoping with some more normal years of precipitation that we will get back to a flat or downward trend, which is rare for streams in Minnesota. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you learned a little bit more about the WMO's successful tax program. Since 2006, there's been over 1,000 conservation practices that have been implemented through the WMO. And a big thank you to our residents of Scott County, because without them, none of this would be possible. And to all our partners who help out with the program as well. Thank you.